Hello there, this is a chemistry project on the topic of air and environment. This video will teach you ways to reduce ozone, methane, and unburnt hydrocarbons emissions. Okay, first off, ways to reduce ozone emissions. Number 1. Ensure that refrigeration and air conditioning have CFC-free labels. When CFCs were first made, it was not known that due to their long half-life, they would be able, with the help of the wind, to reach the stratosphere that damage the ozone layer. Number 2. Do not use aerosol propellants used in hairspray, air fresheners, and even oven cleaners, as they emit CFCs as well. CFCs have been used in aerosols such as hairspray cans. They are dangerous greenhouse gases because small amounts can trap large amounts of heat. These aerosol products are put into our atmosphere and cause parts of the ozone to deteriorate. Number 3. Reduce driving and walk instead, or even take the public transport. Cars release toxic emissions that damage our environment, hurting our environment by adding to the greenhouse effect, thus damaging air quality and decreasing the ozone. Lastly, do not use pesticides, insecticides, or fertilizers. Nitrous oxide fertilizer emissions are now the leading cause of destruction of the protective layer around the Earth's atmosphere. These dangerous levels of man-made nitrous oxide have come under research investigation since the dramatic reduction in other ozone-depleting gases. Next, we have ways to reduce methane emissions. There are two main causes on this matter. First main cause is the emission of methane gas from farm animals like cattle and cows. To solve that, we can have growing a variety of grasses. Well, the farmers could help tackle climate change by growing grass varieties bred to have higher sugar levels, white clover, and burswheat trefoil or leafy legumes for their animals to eat. They will have altered changes the way that bacteria in the stomachs of the animals break down plant material into waste gas. Secondly, we can try growing legumes because they naturally attract bacteria and fungi that fix it from the air to help replenish soil nitrogen levels. Thirdly, we can have changed the diet of herds of cattle, increasing their level of dietary fat by feeding them diets of crushed oil seeds or dried corn distillers grain, reduce the energy lost as methane by up to 20%. Similar reductions in methane were also seen when other fat sources such as whole cottonseed, plant oils, and other ethanol byproducts were added to the diet. Now this caused overall methane by lowering it by 5% units for each percentage of crude fat added to the dietary dry matter. Now the second main cause will be caused by landfill emissions. To solve that, we can have firstly methane recovery systems installed at landfill sites. Well, sometimes the recovered methane is read off, producing a less powerful greenhouse gas, carbon dioxide, which is 20 to 25 times more powerful in trapping heat in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide, and this will help provide an economically viable energy source with collected methane used in electricity generation, thus reducing emissions to the atmosphere by more than half. Secondly, we are placing liners under landfill sites. A landfill liner or composite landfill liner is intended to be a low permeable membrane which is laid down under engineered landfill sites. Well, this stops leaching into nearby groundwater, thus reducing emissions of up to 90%. Well, the third one is an individual strategy. Well, we can properly compost our kitchen waste rather than having it transported to a landfill site. Composting makes a heap of wetted organic matter and waiting for the materials to break down into an organic matter that has reached a point of stability where it will break down no further after a period of weeks or months. But this ensures that as the waste decomposes, it forms carbon dioxide rather than methane, and so has less of a greenhouse gas effect. The last solution is for local governments and other operators may be liable to pay a carbon price for the methane emissions from landfills. And lastly, landfill operators have incentives to reduce their emissions by capturing methane to generate electricity. Well, this would make emissions reduced by diverting waste or other treatments. Lastly, we have ways to reduce unburnt hydrocarbon emissions. First off, you can use E20 fuels, a mixture of 20% ethanol and 80% gasoline. A new study by the Center of Integrated Manufacturing Studies at Rochester Institute of Technology indicates that the use of E20 fuel, which blends 20% ethanol with gasoline, reduces the tailpipe emissions of hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide compared with traditional gasoline or E10 blends. Secondly, you can take care of your vehicle. Take your vehicle in for regular maintenance as prescribed by the owner's manual. Perform regular oil and filter changes, replace spark plugs, and keep your engine lubricated and clean. And well, that is all. But wait, there's more. There's the open-ended question. Now here's the question. To what extent does reducing these emissions help to reduce the effect of global warming? Okay, thank you.